Hello and welcome to the Masquerade YouTube channel. So today's video is about a very serious topic. It's a bit unscripted, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So yeah, if you're here to be educated and actually listen to what I have to say, then welcome, take a seat, make yourself at home. We're real glad to have you here. But if you're in the hater squad that endorsed the libelous Vanity Fair article, and you're about to leave me a comment telling me to kill myself or whatever, do yourself a favor and move on, because I have a zero tolerance policy for bullying or harassment on my platform, so you will be immediately blocked. And trust me, your comments will not hurt my feelings at all, come on now, because the fact of the matter is, by actually applying defense-serious teaching, I am filming this from my beautiful home. I don't have to live in my car or something. I actually support myself financially by giving my gift to humanity and actually contributing to society in a meaningful way instead of begging. And yeah, actually my twin flame adores me, and we've been together since the summer because I do not act like a psycho stalker. So yeah. So back to those of you who are here because they actually want to listen to what I have to say, and they're not here just to make their sick point, let's say. So I've already made a video about my experience in the Twin Flames Universe community a while back. I can link it somewhere over here if you're interested. If you're not, it's okay. So yeah, as with everything in life, I believe there's an opportunity to educate in every single situation. So a libelous article was published, surprise, surprise, after two other libelous articles by Vice Media. Nobody really trusts Vice, we all know that. Come on, that's not serious journalism. But Vanity Fair too. And for those of you that can't be really bothered to read the article, yeah, to give you an idea, the second sentence of the article literally describes a person urinating in a jar. So yeah, because that was a totally necessary and classy detail to include in a serious article. Of course. Seriously. Yeah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's move on to the actual 5 signs you're in an actual cult, because articles like this one harm the actual victims of real cults. And real cults are founded by evil leaders who seek to manipulate and control people. Right, so it's very important not to confuse things, right? Because if we keep repeating a word, eventually it loses its meaning, right? The same with cult, right? If you keep saying everything is a cult, then it just loses its meaning. And it's not easy then for people to actually seek help when they need help and they're actually in a harmful situation. So it's not just about my community being slandered, it's about a general problem in the world in which people cannot seek out help pretty much, or will not be taken seriously if they do seek out help. So yeah, let's not confuse things. Let's use actual definitions and actual logic and actual reason here, instead of, you know, people just dumping their emotional unwellness on others and expecting to have their problem solved by someone else by just dumping things. Okay? So first sign that you're in a cult, or you could be in a cult, is that the leader is the ultimate authority. So, if you're in a certain group, whether it's religious or not, cults are not just religious, okay? See how the leader behaves. Do they expect to be treated as the ultimate authority in everything? Or are they actually held accountable? Do they follow what they preach? So for example, if the leader of your group claims, like, okay, that's a random example, okay, claims, you know, you shouldn't steal, okay? Basic rule. But they're caught stealing, and they're like, ah, it's okay, you know, and they just escape all consequences. That's not a good sign. So make sure that the leader of the group that you're in is following what they're preaching and is actually held accountable. And they do not expect to just be believed just because they said so. I think this is, yeah, called appeal to authority. A cult leader uses that. Like, I'm the authority, you do what I say because I'm me, right? However, this should not be the case. You're a human being with your own agency. And yeah, some people might say that, oh, you're susceptible to being brainwashed or something like that, but in truth, you're a divine being. A divine being cannot be influenced by something unless they choose to. If you choose to give your power away to people, yes, they will take it. But you don't have to give your power away. And yeah, by not giving your power away to a certain leader, then yeah, you're pretty much keeping your power. And you can recognize an abusive situation, which cults are actually abusive situations. They're not just groups of people that are minding their own business and doing actual good in the world. They are a terrible thing. I mean, we all know that, right? But yeah, for some people, apparently, that's not their definition, but that's okay. So, first point, if the leader is acting like they're above the law, they're above accountability, and they're acting like they're the ultimate authority, and you should never question anything they say, good sign that this is a cult. Second sign, the group suppresses healthy skepticism. Skepticism can be healthy, or it can be to an unhealthy degree. Healthy skepticism is questioning what you're given, like, oh, this person told me not to steal. Let's examine, why is stealing wrong? But, like, okay, you shouldn't, like, take what is not given to you. Okay, yeah, society cannot function on that. We all know why stealing is wrong. If I have to explain why stealing is wrong, you're on the wrong channel. Seriously, I shouldn't have to explain why stealing is wrong, right? So yeah, pretty much. But yeah, let's say you wanted to question something. You will not be shut down for questioning something. You would be given resources, like also arguments as to why the specific rule is something this group believes in instead of something else, why they believe this thing is right. And of course, you have the right to align with whatever you believe is right. And yeah, if you're in a group that you don't agree with completely, yeah, if it's not a cult, they will not just kick you out, except if you're being an ass, to be honest. Because any group, like, if you're being rude, of course, they're not going to tolerate such behaviors, and that makes sense. But if you're being nice about it, and you want to actually reach a conclusion here, and actually listen and speak, then you won't have any problem if it's a regular, fine group, right? Even if it's not, like, 100% something you agree with. And yeah, I was about to also make the point that if a group tells you not to commit crimes, they're not suppressing your freedom in any way, because freedom is not, I just go murder hobo everyone, okay? Just to get that clear. You know, a group that has actual rules does not limit your freedom, if those rules make sense. Because rules are important for the way our society functions. We can't really have, like, pretty much our world is very deep into separation consciousness right now. So this is why it's important to have laws in place, so that we protect the people, and that there are actual penalties for those who commit crimes and choose to go against divine law. And yeah, of course, divine law is, like, yeah, it's also earthly law pretty much. Of course, not all laws are grounded in God, and not all laws are fair in all parts of the world, and this is something the planet is still healing. But yeah, this is, again, the world is very deep in separation right now, so yeah, but, like, to the biggest degree, like, the basic laws such as do not murder people, do not steal, like, those basic things, we can all agree that they're wrong, okay? So, a group that tells you don't commit crimes, not bad. It's actually good. Because I've seen that argument sometimes, that's why I'm mentioning it, so, if you're wondering. So I thought I'd address it. So, third indication that you could be in a cult is that the group encourages you to cut all ties with family and friends without good reason. And I'm being very specific with that. If your family is abusing you in any way, or your friends are abusing you, or your husband or wife is abusing you, being asked to leave an abusive situation is actually loving to you. You are never asked to take abuse in the name of love. This is insanity. Love does not hurt. Love doesn't abuse. So, if you're in an actual abusive situation and this group offers to help you get out of it with really good intentions, then it's not a cult, okay? Because some people might say, oh, family is family. Yeah, but if a person is being abused by their family, is that correct? Should they just stay because they're family? That's insane. Nobody should have to be abused, and nobody should tolerate that. It's never acceptable in any context. And there's no such thing as a degree of abuse, like, oh, it was just verbal abuse, okay. No, it is never okay. Even if it is a little bit of abuse, you know, just verbal, just call me a bitch, just, you know, we're fighting, just, yeah. Why should you tolerate that? Okay? So yeah, that's a very important one. Of course, a group that really loves you at the core and respects you would never ask you to cut ties with your family and friends unless there's a good reason for that. So if your family and friends are okay with you, they accept you, they're loving you, that's good, right? You should stay in contact with them. You should honor this relationship. And a group that asks you to you know, cut relationships with people who love you, yeah, that's a huge red flag. But again, the reason is always important. Because I was saying before, it is never appropriate to be abused in any way. And if you're being abused, yes, it's appropriate to take the steps to get out of this situation, even if it seems impossible. Because, yeah, you'll never be called to suffer or be abused in any way in order to be loved. So yeah, number 4, sign that you could be in a cult is that you're pressured into immoral or even illegal behaviors. So, if a group is pressuring you to take drugs, yeah, that's not a good sign. Run, get out. Okay? A group that is not a cult will never pressure you into immoral or illegal behaviors. And immoral behaviors include, for example, telling someone to quit their meds without consulting their doctor first. Many meds, such as the ones for mental conditions, such as like stronger antipsychotics, they have many side effects if a person stops taking them, like cold turkey. If you quit cold turkey, it's a really serious threat to your health with some medicines, and you should not do that. So yeah, you can consult your doctor and let them know that, hey, I would like a lower dose of this, like help me get out of this, get off this medicine maybe, but yeah, it should never be done without the medical professional's help, right? It's an obvious thing. So yeah, if a group is pressuring you to get off your meds without the medical professional's help, even if it's for a physical condition, right? Some painkillers, they have big side effects if they are taken, like stopped being taken, just like that. So yeah, it needs to be supervised by a doctor, such as, you know, also, you know, taking substances without consulting your doctor first. Yeah, if you're being asked to do that, then red flag, get out. Okay, get comfortable. Okay, got a bit more comfortable. So, another red flag is if you're asked to harm yourself in any way, such as by risking arrest by breaking the law in any way. Like if you're asked to steal things, if you're asked to violate restraining orders, if you're asked to, like, I don't know, stab someone. The list is endless, but yeah. If you're asked to break the law or harm yourself in any way, commit suicide, even take substances, like, yeah, that's a huge red flag that this group is a cult. You should get out. A group that actually loves you and would nurture you would never ask you to harm yourself in any way or harm other people in any way. So be very vigilant and on the outlook for such a thing, like if you're ever asked to do that. Yeah. So, 5th point is that the group relies on secrecy and there's no transparency. So if there's such a thing as, you know, the higher level members, like, you know, the super secret that the rest of you cannot know until you spend like copious amounts of money to get to the top, or yeah, we all know about MLMs, we all know about, yeah. Everything should be transparent. Of course, there are some things that are confidential, like if you go work for a company, you will be asked to sign an NDA for various reasons, okay? Some things like, let's say there's a product they have, and yeah, they don't want you leaking this information to their competitor. Obviously, you will be asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement. In those cases, it makes sense to do so, right? So, yeah, non-disclosure agreements are not a bad thing always. And yeah, people that are higher up knowing things that you don't is not necessarily always a bad thing. As I was saying, like the CEO of a company will know way more than the secretary or the person who works at the store. It makes sense. It doesn't mean it's a cult, it's just, yeah, it makes sense. That the person deeper invested in the company will know more about the company than a person who is just working part-time. Duh. But yeah, I'm talking about like secret rights or anything like that, which is a huge red flag on its own. Like, I'm not talking about like normal stuff. It's more of a yeah, or the super secret to enlightenment that you're not supposed to share with anybody else, and somebody needs to be a member in order to know. Yeah, huge red flag, get out. Okay, so those were my 5 signs that you're most likely in a cult. And yeah, as I was saying, the purpose of this video is to educate people in order not to get exploited, and to actually give some context on what an actual cult is and what it is not. So yeah, because as I was saying, it's very important not to confuse things, and it's very important that some words do not lose their meaning. Like the word murder, you don't want it to lose its meaning, because that, yeah, for obvious reasons, we don't want like every single thing to be labeled as murder. Such as you wouldn't want every single thing to be labeled as sexual assault, right? Because it takes away from the seriousness of the crime, and that should never happen. So yeah, similarly, for the word cult, it should never like be diminished in this way, and like have everything called a cult, even the McDonald's, like, called as a cult. Fuck's sake. Come on. Yeah, and a very important point I would like to make before we end this video is to always listen to your intuition. And yeah, of course, your intuition it's very important to be in a peaceful and calm place when you make any decision in your life. If you're making a decision out of anger or sadness or jealousy or any other intense emotion, even if it's like super excitement, okay? It's, yeah, probably best to ride out the emotional high, let it pass, and then be calm and level-minded, like, is that the word? Like, be actually rational about making decisions, be smart about it. Because it's very easy to get, like, to make certain decisions that are not the smartest when we are at the height of our upset or at the height of, like, a very intense emotion. So yeah, always make sure that you make decisions from a place of peace, and that you always listen to your intuition from this place of peace. And if something feels off, of course, you should be allowed to question things. And yeah, and if that place is a cult, of course, it's going to be revealed that, hey, you're not supposed to be asking questions, so you'll know that, hey, these people are assholes, I should go. So yeah, this is all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, found it educational, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.